Frank, Hayes, and JJ.
Hit it!
It's time for the Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hi, we welcome you in. Glad you're along for the ride. The new drug today is we've made it to the big time. Big time today, LaSelva. I don't know if you know that or not. Hacker Nation stops by. How are you, bro?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Thank you for doing this. Hacker is so kind to always step in and work for us and then work for him later on today. So those are long days, so we appreciate it, bro.
I got your text yesterday. I was in the snake pit at the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
Were you?
And right as I was staring at the pit viper is when I got your
that's
text
when it
message.
came through, okay?
That's when it came through.
Well, I hope you didn't look down.
I did not. I was very concerned about Forrest because he was getting his picture taken next to said pit viper.
Okay.
So I responded to you immediately after we left the snake pit.
So you not only responded to me and said you could do this, but you cheated death at the same time.
I did, yes.
That's pretty amazing.
I have the phobia, but somebody's got to go in there with the little guy, and so I made it
How
happen.
about that? Is that cool? Like, what? How does it go? I mean, you.
Oh yeah, no, there you see the alligators, and then you go back. It's called the Wildlife of Florida or something.
Yeah.
You go see the alligators, which he's all about now,
Right.
And then you go into this heated building where they have a python, which is a python. It's a big fella.
They're behind glass, though.
Oh, behind glass.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't hold the pit viper.
Okay.
Thankfully, but yeah,
Okay.
they have rattlesnakes and all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of fun for the whole family.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah,
And you survived.
I survived it.
All right.
There was touch and go there for a while, but I made it out.
You made it through. All right. Well, good
I'm
to have
shocked that Hack's not a snake guy.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, hate him, hate him, hate him, hate him.
you. Do you remember the day you were producing, and there was a snake loose in the building? There was a snake. He was producing our show.
That was a big snake that was in the building.
There was a snake loose in the building, and Hacker didn't know where it was. It was maybe the most, and Hacker was a great producer. It was maybe the most poorly produced show of all time.
Well,
we were going to commercials, coming out of commercials, sounders were
Frank's
firing.
telling me the thing could come through the ceiling and fall on me and all kinds of stuff. And
I said, Hack. I said I would be careful right above those ceiling tiles.
Right, they come loose.
They
man.
it could happen at any moment. And I should have stopped, but I just got going, JJ, and I couldn't. You know, sometimes you're out of control, and I couldn't do it. So it'd be great to have you with us. You're here. JJ, I thought about you last night, bro.
I'm sure.
What a game, though, huh? What a
Fantastic
what a
game from a
fantastic-
neutral perspective,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we've gotten some stinkers in the national title, but after the first few drives, I was like, we might have another one.
Yeah.
Miami might lay an egg here, but thank God they turned it around. And it's sad, you know, obviously they didn't win, but I'm really proud of the team, proud of the coach, proud of the boys, and it was a phenomenal season, and
Yeah.
I'll remember it forever.
Great season and I thought they played their ass off.
Yeah,
I thought
they
both
kept
teams did.
fighting.
Yeah, I thought both teams did. I
Indiana
thought,
was fantastic.
yeah, that was a really well played. I mean, hard-nosed, tough game last night. It was and two programs, you know, one's where'd they come from, one's a blue blood, but the blue blood hadn't had blue blood in a while, and the other one had never had it. I mean, it was, with all due respect to all the Ohio State, Alabama games we've seen or whatever, that was I thought about that when they were kicking it off.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird, but kind of in a cool way. They both had, it was a traditional uniform look, you know. If you look close enough, Indiana looked like Alabama.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and Miami, we've seen that uniform in these things. It's been a while, so
You know, it was funny when they had at the beginning on the coin flip, and they have like the captains that are
Yeah.
honorary captain or whatever,
Right.
and I think ours was like Ray Lewis or
Michael Irvin.
Irvin
It
or
was Irvin.
something. Yeah, and then I don't even remember who.
no
theirs
idea who that
was.
guy was.
But I was like, wow, I guess Indiana really
Yeah.
doesn't have that many.
I just assumed it was
Greats.
Antoine Randall. That's the only guy
That's the
from
only guy,
Indiana I
right.
could name.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they
it
couldn't
was
run,
Tanner Rourke,
and they couldn't
from
really,
last
and they
year.
really couldn't run Zeke or Quinn Buckner out there. That would
Right.
kind of defeat the purpose
Right.
a little. So
I was in it for the
Isaiah
love.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was in it for the love of the game last night. Luckily, not having a dog in the fight is so refreshing. Because if you're watching a Jaguar game or a Gator game or a Seminole game, you're on the edge of your seat. The fact that I really didn't care who won, because if Miami would have won, it would have been a great story because of Carson Beck's local ties. If Indiana won, which obviously they did, the first 16-0 team since, of course, that 1894 Yale team, Frank, that you and I talked so much about.
Yeah, I remember.
Which
Remember
I
that.
don't know what they're doing playing 16 college games back in 1894, but apparently they did. But the fact that I had no dog in the fight made it that much more enjoyable. And that Mendoza touchdown, we were talking about this before the show, is that going to be Vince Young against USC? Is that going to be
Yes,
second and
yes.
26,
Yeah.
Tua to
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, where you're going to see that play forever when it comes to national title game highlights?
Well, it already has its life of its own. Number one, it's the photo everybody used. It's the photo Sports Illustrated used for their commemorative edition. You've seen it everywhere. He's told the whole story now of how he certainly had the option to check to a pass on that play. Scott Van Pelt said, "Wait a minute. You're telling me that could have been a pass?" He said, "Yeah, I could have checked to a pass." Look, he's a wonderful guy too. Seeing his interview with Van Pelt,
He's awesome, man.
He really is awesome. He's about all the right stuff. Look, it was just a really good game. And by the way, Canes aren't going anywhere. Whether the Mensa stuff happens or not, Fletcher's back and they are loaded. So Miami's back again. That's not much consolation today, but they are. They are.
No, I loved seeing sophomores and freshmen on the field last night playing with these big boys.
Yeah.
I mean, these 24-year-olds were literally playing next to 18 and 19-year-olds from Miami. I absolutely love what this program's got. The Mensa stuff, there's a bunch of weird court stuff, but it looks like they will get him. But yeah, the future's very bright for Miami.
Whoever is, I think Mensa's going to be their quarterback too. But whoever's their quarterback is either going to hand it to number 4 or throw it to number 10. So they're probably going to be pretty good. Yeah. I figured that.
Malachi Tony is unbelievable,
isn't he? And I will tell you what too. I thought Shannon Dawson last night had a heck of a game. The one touchdown where they ran Tony in motion
like a fake toss,
and then handed it to Fletcher.
Never seen that
touchdown. Then they run it again later, and this time they give it to Tony. Touchdown. Same play. It was the same play both times. It's just each time Indiana was looking for the other thing.
And it took a couple quarters. They were playing real conservative, which I knew they would because their cornerback was suspended the first half, and they had a lot of young guys to play, and they looked terrible against those wide receivers to start the game. And so I knew they were just going to run and be conservative. And then finally in the second half, they started using their speed on the edges more, and it really opened up. And Dawson was great in the second.
Yeah, he's so a lot to talk about today. We'll certainly talk about. We'll Hacker, you and I'll go all through last night's game. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll certainly talk about that. We'll look ahead to what college football is next year, the next year and the years to come. And again, last night it was 2 22 and 23-year-old quarterbacks who had played 3 years somewhere else, then came in as a free agent and played for the national title. Is that where we're headed? That was the two that played last night. And so you and I'll certainly cut through that. That'll be fun. I want to get your thoughts on the Jags coordinators. Do you think they're going to lose coordinators? We'll certainly talk about that. Crazy carousel. And one thing to know about the carousel, are you surprised that every coach that's been hired now is a previous head coach? Does that surprise you at all?
It does. I'm pretty surprised Tennessee went the direction they did with Robert Saleh. And we'll talk about that, obviously. I don't know. Why didn't they just keep Mike Vrabel? I mean, if that's the kind of coach you want.
And I think the story, when they pursued John Harbaugh as hard as they did, I think the message was we screwed this up.
Yeah.
We screwed it. Rand Carthon came in. We screwed this up with Mike Vrabel. We can't go get him back, so we'll do the next best thing. We'll go get John Harbaugh, who's just like him, or Robert Saleh, who's just like him. I think their whole search was representative of the fact or indicative of the fact that they messed up with Vrabel, which they clearly did.
Right.
He's as good a coach as there is in the NFL, and they fired him.
Yeah.
So we'll certainly get to that. Gator Hoops, we'll talk about that coming up. The Gator Hoops have sort of found themselves, and we'll get Hack's thoughts on the you and I haven't had a chance to visit on the end of the Jag season and the Jag season, so all that coming up in the program as well. So we're looking forward to it. But we're going to start with the Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. Hack and I'll have that for you. We'll take a break, and we'll kick off the program. Glad you're with us on a Tuesday. Our Tuesday is always brought to you by my friends at the Nimnick family of dealerships. Nimnick Chevrolet is on Cassett. Nimnick Buick GMC is on Phillips Highway. Our Duval County Scholar Athlete is next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
How bad do you really feel?
I feel pretty good, actually. Why is that?
Well, all we had was
1010XL.
A new year is the perfect time to finally get organized. Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to home offices, entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and more. Beautiful, functional storage for any space, lifestyle, and budget. Start the new year strong with 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free in-home consultation. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Funny thing, a lot of plumbing companies still call themselves local, even after being bought by, well, not local people. Meanwhile, Hall & Sons Plumbing is still family-owned, veteran-operated, and proudly serving Jacksonville the way we always have, with a handshake, honest pricing, and real local roots. So if you want a plumber who actually lives down the road, not in a boardroom 3 states away, call Hall & Sons Plumbing. Local. Family. Real.
Get hit by the man in the back, Tommy Mack.
I'm bringing you straight to the gridiron to show you what it's like to put on the Jags helmet and pads.
Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
It's Taylor. Valentine's Day is just a few weeks away, but don't do what you probably do every year. Last-minute grocery store flowers, questionable strawberries, and a box of forgettable chocolate. This year, step up your game. Pre-order fresh, hand-dipped strawberries and beautifully crafted artisan chocolates from Peterbrook Chocolatier. With 15 North Florida locations, you probably drove past one today. Up your game this Valentine's Day with a gift that actually impresses. And trust me, you'll score more points with your Valentine. Find your closest location at peterbrook.com. Peterbrook.com.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with WindoWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WindowWorld today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
WindoWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
WindowWorld also offers energy-efficient doors.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harrell & Harrell. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell & Harrell. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Hey folks, it's Frangie. All those festive holiday feasts probably have added a few extra pounds, but here's the thing. You can make this the year you finally lose the weight safely and for good. Now, you know by now my daughter Amber kicked off the journey with Awaken 180 weight loss back in the summer. You ready for this? She's lost 100 pounds in 6 months. Man, is she proud of that. 100 pounds. And she really did it with this really, really good plan. There's no shots, no medications, no supplements, just real food and a proven plan. That's right. With Awaken 180, you can still enjoy your favorite food and drink. No more yo-yo diets or feeling deprived. The structured program empowers you to control your eating without hunger. It really is doable. Don't just resolve to make the change. Make the change. Call Awaken 180 today and take that first small step. Book your consultation now, 1-844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It worked for Amber. It really did. And it can work for you. Awaken 180 weight loss.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hey, let's go! And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
It is time for our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. It is Lucy Pearson from Wolfson High School. Hey, Lucy.
Hi, how are you guys?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's talk a little bit about you are both, you play soccer and you're on the swim team.
Yes, sir.
Which do you like best? Which do you most?
Definitely soccer. I did swim this season for cross training for soccer.
Okay, so tell me all about soccer, your whole soccer career, how long you've played the whole bit.
I've been playing since I was 4 or 5.
Okay.
I started at the YMCA
over
on St. Augustine, and I went through Landon and now Wolfson. I'm a captain on the Wolfson team.
Very cool.
Well, obviously, Frank knew I was going to be here today.
Yes.
I'm a Wolfson alum, 2002.
Go
so
Pack.
Love the Wolf Pack. Absolutely. Powers Avenue. I love it. You know, you talk about your two main sports being swimming and soccer. I mean, My goodness gracious, the training that must go in to both of those. What is your day like when you're training for both sports?
Well, I did fall swim season to cross train for soccer. So just like getting in shape and the endurance that soccer requires. I wasn't much of a cross country runner, so swim was a natural fit for me.
But how do you you manage athletics, and you're obviously a very good student.
Yes, sir.
Talk about managing your time. How do you do? Because there's a lot of stuff, right?
I have practice till 5 every day, and then it's grinding on homework and
Right.
preparing for tests and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty organized.
You mentioned being a team captain. What did that mean to you that you were voted a team captain? That's got to be an amazing honor.
Yes, sir. I've been working towards it every year. I was a freshman on varsity, the only freshman on varsity. So naturally, I fit in with the other girls, and I was just learning from my past captains and developing into the player that wants to be the leader on the team and support the younger players.
Lucy, you're involved in student government. You're on Senior Network. I want you to tell me what that is. Student ambassadors, Young Life. You're involved in a lot of stuff extracurricular. Tell me a little bit about some of those and why they're important to
Yes, sir. Student government, I've been a part of since 9th grade. We organized homecoming week, Wolfson basketball bonanza, all the fun things that you think of in high school. We organize, fundraise. Wolfson student ambassadors, I represent the school and take prospective students on tours and welcome their families. Senior Network, it's a board of a few other seniors, and we plan all the fun senior trips. So the grad bash trip, and we do like a senior barbecue, senior movie night, all the fun things.
So you're involved in a lot of stuff.
Yes, sir.
A lot of planning.
I mean, you look at I'll call it your resume here for what you do in high school. It's incredible. I mean,
thank you.
Did you want to get involved in this many things? Or was that your idea when you started high school, or is that just kind of the way it materialized?
Yes, sir. I've always loved being involved in things. That's definitely why I chose Wolfson, to have that balance of fun in school stuff and then the sports and the academic aspect. It was a perfect fit.
All right, let's talk about college. What are your plans? Where do you want to go?
I hope to attend FSU in the fall and study sports marketing.
Oh, very good. Tell me about sports marketing. Why sports marketing?
I love sports, but I want to play club soccer in college, but not good enough to make the FSU women's team,
Yeah.
They're amazing. But keeping sports as a part of my life, and then I'm interested in the philanthropy aspect of like helping athletes do good things with their money and give back to their communities and get the community involved in professional sports.
Well, that's very cool, and I'll bet you're going to have a great career in sports. I can tell already.
Thank you.
Lucy Pearson is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week, a terrific student, a terrific soccer player, a member of the swim team as well, from Wolfson High School. Congratulations. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
All right, Lucy Pearson. She is from Wolfson High School, same place that Hacker went, and she is a terrific student and a terrific athlete as well. And it's always great to have our Duval County Scholar Athletes of the Week stop by. And Lucy Pearson is a very, very good one. So how about that? How about you coming in here and we drop off? We go Wolfson just like that.
I can assure you, when I was at Wolfson, I was not rocking a 3.96 GPA.
Yeah. Hayes and I always say, every time we have a Duval County Scholar Athlete, we say, do you think if we added up our GPAs, we'd get there? And more times than not, the answer is no.
Right.
Okay, so there certainly is that. So, all right, a lot of things to get to today. We thank Lucy for coming by, our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. All right, first of all, I'll get to the college season. Big picture, what jumped off the page for you in last night's game? What will you take away from it after watching the game last night?
See, to me, it was one of two things. It was either Miami was going to be back and the job that Mario Cristobal had done, bringing his alma mater back to the top. Obviously, the local tie with Carson Beck. That's why, for me, if Miami would have won, I thought locally it would have been a great story. I understand Gator fans and Seminole fans are probably happy Miami didn't win. For me, I was looking more at the Carson Beck angle of it. But because Indiana won, I don't know if I'm overstating this, and it's hard because it's the land of NIL now, but 16-0, again, the first team since Yale in 1894 to go 16-0, and the fact that it's the Indiana Hoosiers, I mean, where does this rank among the biggest stories in the history of college football?
Well, certainly upset stories at the top.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly because, Cinderella stories. This wasn't some fluke. They were the best team.
And not only, Alabama, Oregon twice, Ohio State, Miami. They earned it every stretch of the way.
And rolled Alabama and Oregon. Yeah. We won by 34, won by 35 at the end of the season. So I'm watching the game. I was rooting for Miami because of my guy JJ and because of Carson Beck. I wanted Carson Beck to have a good ending. He's as Jacksonville as they get, man. He's a Jacksonville guy. He was born here. He was raised here. He played travel baseball with a lot of kids that I know their dads. I know his dad. I want, and he's been picked on some. He's had some stuff said about him. By the way, here's his college career, 37-6.
Yeah.
Okay, he's 37-6. He's got 2 national championship rings. He didn't start those games. He's played in 3 national championship games. He's had a hell of a career. And I think as time goes on, he'll be way more appreciated than he is now. We're going to look back and go, wow, look what this guy did in college. He lived up to every bit of it. Just didn't get to lead them to a championship last night. I will tell you, I thought they were going to win. I not before the game, but when I'm like
last drive.
Yeah, I'm like you, JJ. When early on, I thought it might get away from them, but on the last drive, I thought they were going to win. I thought they're going to win by a point. I thought he's going to bring them back. He's going to throw a touchdown
They
pass.
had time.
Yeah.
He blew it at the end. I mean, they still had like a minute left.
Well, in Indiana, the most disciplined team, one of the most disciplined teams in the history of college football, we talk about their lack of penalties the entire year.
Right.
2nd and 1.
That's the biggest play of the game.
And they're all-American left tackle. The guy committed one penalty the entire season. The false start, just a little twitch, gave Miami the ball. I was actually a little surprised.
It was a 4-point penalty.
Yeah.
It was a 4-point penalty.
Were you surprised that Cignetti kicked the field goal and didn't think about going for it?
At that point, I was not. At that point, you got to take the points.
Because the Canes had no timeouts.
Right. At that point, you got to take the points and make Miami score a touchdown. But I thought Miami was going to come back and win. I'll give you a bunch of thoughts. Number one, the first thing I thought was how old the Indiana team is. That maybe that's how you do it now. If you can't get if you don't have all the 5 stars. I made this point and people hated it on Twitter. They thought I was not giving Florida its due credit last year in basketball. But Florida didn't have any 5 stars in basketball. So what they did is they went and got Clayton and Richard and Elijah Martin and a bunch of older guys who were grown men who had played a lot of basketball, and that really helped them. 3 of the 4 Final Four teams, Duke was young, but the other 3 Final Four teams, Houston, Auburn, and Florida, were very old teams, a bunch of guys in their 20s who'd been at a bunch of schools and played a lot of football, played a lot of basketball, and had all those experiences, and that cancels out the fact that they weren't 5 stars, right? Well, that's what Indiana is. They have so many guys that have done it for so long. So number one thing that stood out to me, when he said the average age was 24, I almost fell out of my chair, or off the couch, if you will. So that happened. Then I got to thinking, but it's not like anybody can just go get these old guys and it works. You have to be a really good coach and a really good staff because you got to mesh them together. You had to mesh all those James Madison guys with the guys that were already there. And they look like that team, I'll say this about Indiana, they look like they've been playing together for about 20 years, didn't they? There's never a guy's running open because the cornerback thought he had coverage over the top and he didn't. That never happened. If you watch him in the postseason, there was never one of those mix-ups. There was never one time when the quarterback went to hand it off and the running back went the wrong way. How many times have we seen those plays in football? None.
Right.
None with this. And boy, did they cover. I mean, they covered and covered.
Blanketed, especially the first half.
Yeah.
I like that the rest were letting everybody play.
And by the way, I wrote that down here. That was the best officiated game I've seen because they didn't try to call everything. See, we talked about if you watched all the NFL football on Saturday, okay, and pass interference, you could call it every play, right? Pass interference is like speeding on the highway, all right? If the speed limit is 70, anybody going 77 or 72 or whatever is breaking the law. But if you pulled over everybody that went 75, you'd have no state troopers left. They'd all be on the side of the road writing tickets. So you have to pick your spots of which of the speeders are the more egregious. Well, that's what pass interference is. The hand fighting and the grabbing, you could call it every play. It's illegal contact, but you got to pick which ones are most egregious. That's the plight of the back judge. It really is. And in this case, to JJ's point, I agree with you, JJ. This crew, it was a Big 12 crew, they said, let's let these guys decide it. Now, if it's awful, I thought the one call to Miami was a bad call. I thought the one they did
call pissed me off.
Yeah, I thought it was a bad call, and I didn't care who won. So, but this crew said, let's let them fight. And I think that's how you ought to do it. look, if a guy grabs a guy and throws him down or tackles him or grabs his arm, then you got to call it. But I thought the fact that the age of Indiana, how well coached and how the chemistry they had, like they played together for so long, the way the game was officiated, I thought that stood out. And the last thing is the thing everybody else is talking about: 2 veteran quarterbacks who looked like NFL guys. That looked like 2 NFL quarterbacks. Back in the old day, some quarterbacks are smaller and they run the ball a little bit more. And those 2 guys were 6'4" and 6'5", big-armed guys, neither super athletic, could run enough if they had to. And it made for almost a little mini NFL game for me, and I thought it was a glorious watch.
A couple of things stood out for me. To your point about Indiana being well coached, there was a couple of plays in particular where their defensive backs could have taken kill shots on the Miami wide receivers.
Good point.
And could have been targeting or whatever, but they were so clean. They were shoulder to shoulder. I mean, it's a disciplined football team. The block punt. How many times have we seen guys in position to block a punt, but they miss it by, an inch here, an inch there? I mean, perfect, that block punt for Indiana. Absolutely perfectly done by that special teams unit. Again, coaching. And this is more big picture, but because Indiana won last night, it does certainly applies. Has NIL ended the SEC dominance in college football? Because say what you will about the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Goodness knows I've said it. Most of our audience has said it here in Jacksonville. SEC, it just means more, right? This is back-to-back national championships for the Big Ten.
Separate team.
From three different schools.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge deal.
No question. And I agree with you. The Big Ten is the king right now, and they deserve that. And by the way, it's not just 3 teams. Penn State and Oregon had really good seasons. Penn State's fell apart, obviously, in the middle. But no, I agree with you. What NIL has done, though, and it's not a conference-to-conference thing, because number one, the answer to your question is yes. It's changed the playing field, and it's made teams that typically weren't as good better. But here's the other thing it's done: it's not just a conference thing. If you figure out the system, and let's be honest, again, I'll say it again. One of the reasons Indiana and Miami were playing last night and nobody else was, they figured out the quarterback thing.
Yeah.
They had the 2 best free agent quarterbacks and they were playing. Well, that's where you go now. I mean, if you think about that, we're gonna later on the show, we're gonna look ahead to who teams to watch. We're gonna do it a couple segments from now. But the bottom line is, can you figure out the system? How much money to spend? Who knows how much money to spend in your NIL? How much money to spend in your rev share? How much do you pay? The going rate for quarterbacks is $4 to $6 million now, right? I'll give Miami credit. Miami said, look, here's what's happened. Miami was a middling program. Like it or not, they were. They went and got Cam Ward, paid him more than anybody else, raised their profile. Went and got Carson Beck and a bunch of other guys, became one of the best handful of teams, 2 or 3 teams in the country. Now, they missed out on Sam Levitt. They missed out on whoever they went after. They said, our job's to win. Ty Simpson. They said, screw this. We're going to go get Darian Mensah, the best guy left. Well, he's staying at Duke. Well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. He hadn't signed anything. I applaud Miami. I feel bad for Duke if he winds up in Miami.
Right.
Because they had a really raw deal because they ran out of time to go get a guy because they thought they had their guy. So I hate it for them. But I say this all the time, Hack. I've said I hate the way baseball's structured. JJ and I go back and forth on this. I think there should be a salary cap. I think there should be a floor. I think there should be equity of spending like there is in every other sport in North America. But until there is, I applaud the Dodgers. They're following the rules. Don't be mad at the Dodgers because they're good at it, because they follow the rules and are good. Same with Miami. I'm sorry Duke lost their guy, but if Miami's good at it, if they're good at finding a way to go get Darian Mensah, well, don't criticize someone who's good at playing within the rules, right? So I think that's what NIL's done is whoever's best at managing that system, to your point, is going to win a lot of championships.
It's the world we live in. Speaking of Mensah, I wanted him at Florida because he has ties to Summerall.
There was early talk that he was going to go.
Yeah.
There was early talk that's who it was going to be.
I mean, this is a guy that threw 30 touchdowns and 5 picks and led Duke to an ACC championship. I mean, he's a stud. And if Miami ultimately gets him, that would be Cam Ward, Carson Beck, and Mensah back-to-back-to-back, although this one looks like it might get interesting as far as Duke trying to hold on to him, how that's going to all materialize.
Well, when Damon Williams, the Washington guy, was going to leave and go to LSU, Washington said, "The hell you are! We got a contract. We're going to sue your ass."
Right.
He stayed. So that made people believe that now Duke's trying to do the same thing. Now we'll see whether or not it works or not. Everything I read today is that Darren Heitner's got him. He had the other guy too. That Duke's not going to win this.
Yeah, Duke's lost a couple early court battles already.
But
it's interesting.
But back to the point, whatever the system is, whoever's best at managing the system within the rules deserves to win.
Well,
and everyone's got to kind of figure out what that means.
And I already think it from you bring it locally to Florida. You look at what Summerall's been able to do already in the portal. Kudos to him, and that's an indictment of what Billy Napier was not able to do.
Yeah, what we have learned, Billy Napier, God bless him, had no idea how to do all this. He was a good man. He was a good old school recruiter. If it had been 20 years ago when there's no transfers, he probably would have built a heck of a roster.
Right.
He was an old Nick Saban type guy, but Billy Napier did. Summerall, obviously, he's got 27 guys. Now, we'll see if they're any good, but I'll say this about John Summerall. We'll get to it later on in more detail. He looks like he knows what he's doing. Well, whether or not that turns into wins, we'll see. But you get by having Dave Caldwell there, you get the sense they know what they're doing. I don't know if their team's going to be any good, but you get the sense they know what they're doing. They clearly did not go all in on a big quarterback. They did not go after Levitt. They did not go after Mensa. They did not go after the Cincinnati guy, Sorsby, that wound up at Texas Tech. They did not go after Josh Hoover that went from TCU to Indiana. They clearly aren't doing that yet. And so we'll see if it turns out. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the program. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to pick your brain about the Jaguars season. We haven't had a chance to do that since it ended. So you and I will talk Jaguars football after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Don't wait for leaks to tell you it's time. Start the new year with a roof built to last from Romano Brothers Roofing, serving Jacksonville for over 45 years. Their family-owned team handles repairs, full replacements, and residential or commercial installs, including durable metal roofs. They even do remodels and additions. Call 904-246-5649 or visit RomanoBrothersRoofing.com for a free estimate. License number CCC 1328893.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Pages in your mailbox right now.
Hey, Hicken here. Leave all the 2025 dirt and celebrate the new year with our friends from Zero Res. Carpets, tile, hardwood, LVP, area rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res, and don't forget about your air ducts. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with more than 8,000 reviews. Bring in the new year with 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning, plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. 287-5727 or book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the adorable chess man on the trucks.
There are two things you should ask yourself about your garage floor. How clean is it now, and how clean would you like it to be? A typical bare concrete floor doesn't just collect dirt, it makes dirt.
It is literally made of dirt.
As much as you sweep and mop, the dust and grit just never ends.
And drips from your car seep into the pores, staining the concrete forever.
A Checkmate multi-layer floor resists drips and stains. It comes in your choice of dozens of colors and sweeps up sparkling clean in just seconds.
No need to wear shoes in the garage and track dirt back in the house.
Gorgeous?
Check. Durable?
Check. Tidy enough to walk on wearing clean white socks? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com. That's CheckmateCoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Hi, we thank our friends from the Nimnick Family Dealership. Nimnick Chevrolet is located on Caston Avenue. Nimnick Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. Man, I trust my friends at the Nimnick Family Dealership. Head to Nimnick today. Did I hear a little Van Halen? Is that what I hear right now?
That is exactly what you hear.
Is that coming through your headset too?
I love Van Halen.
You love Van Hagar, and I've tried to correct you
do
many
love Van
times.
Hagar.
I've lectured you.
I'm more Sammy than a David guy.
I've yelled at you.
Yeah.
I've threatened to fight you over it.
Right now, when it's love. Oh, yeah, man.
So what are we going to do? I mean, we got Van Halen playing, JJ.
Listen,
Can you do something in there?
If you want to hear Van Halen,
yeah,
I have a pair of tickets for America's Van Halen experience. That is February 1st at Thrasher Horn Center. And if you are caller number 4 right now at 641-1010, I'll hook you up.
Caller number 4, you're going to hear Van Halen, the Van Halen experience. Well done, as always. The Jags finished 13-4. Now, Hayes and I have kind of put our postmortem on the season, and I know you have on your program. You do a great job on your show, and I love your guests, and I love listening. But you're on this show for now, and we haven't done it yet. Big picture. I'll get to the Buffalo game in a minute. Where does that Jaguar regular season rank for you?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, you know, it was fun. That's the one thing that I'll say about this season is it was fun. Coming off 4-13 last year, look, my expectation was 8-9, 9-8. You know, so am I totally surprised they were 13-4? Yeah, I'm probably surprised they got to 13. Like I said, I was more in the 9-8 range, but I think what it does for me is it signals the beginning of something special. Now, what people will tell you, and it's true, it's factual, you can't argue it. 2017, Doug Marrone's first full year on the job, they win the division, go to the playoffs, bottom falls out 5 games into 2018. 2022, Doug Peterson's first full year on the job, win the division, go to the playoffs, bottom falls out Thanksgiving of 2023. And here we are again with Liam Cohen's first year on the job, win the division, playoffs, but I think the pattern stops there. I don't get the sense this team is going to bottom out or it's going to fall out for them in 2026, Frank. I get the sense that this is the start of something. Are they going to win 13 games again? I tend to doubt it. That's hard to do, but I don't think they're going to go from a 13-win team to a 5-win team. I think they're going to be in the mix again next year for a playoff spot.
I think the culture's built. I think he has a really good coach. I think Tony Baselli, we talk about James Gladstone and Liam Cohen, who've been fantastic. I think part of this is Tony Baselli. He's my friend. I'm biased, but I think James and Liam would tell you that. His toughness, I can tell you for 11 years, he sat right next to me in a broadcast booth. And when the team wasn't physical enough, it drove him bonkers. I can tell you that because he sat next to me, okay? And I mean, on the air, I mean, during the broadcast, I mean, during breaks in the broadcast, I would see the look on his face when the Jags would get out physical. I'm not making this up. The guy sat next to me, okay? Ask Lagerman. Lagerman felt the same way. And I got these two big football players, how annoyed they got and would continue to get when the Jags weren't physical enough, right? I saw that. Well, all of a sudden, Tony is in this executive vice president position, and they're more physical than they've been in many, many years, certainly since 17. Well, that's not a coincidence.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not. And again, I had the first firsthand look at it by sitting next to the dude all the time. So I think I think it is built. The other thing is they have unlocked Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has found a rhythm. I defended Shad Khan's a great owner. Hey, he really cares. He spends, he supports, and he's tried to get this right. And I think, and he's not afraid to keep trying until he got it right, and he got it right with Liam Cohen. Now you've got the right coach. You've got the guy that is unlocked. I remember asking Liam last year at the Combine, and I'd had him on a few times, but I said, what did you do to unlock Baker Mayfield? That he was so much different under you. And he gave all the credit to Baker. You know, Baker was committed. He trusted. He listened to communication. He was passing off. He wasn't going to take the credit. Well, I left him alone. But I'm going to ask him again next time I see him. You did it again. Mm-hmm. What'd you do? So I think when your quarterback's there, when your team's more physical, when your culture's right, they might win 13 again next year. I mean, it's the first place schedule, and that matters. But we'll see.
It's not a coincidence. I mean, you could name a bunch of guys just off the top of my head, guys that had career years in a Jaguar uniform: Ezra Cleveland, Anton Harrison, Devin Lloyd, Antonio Johnson, Monteric Brown, Cole Van Lanen, Travis Etienne.
Right.
You can go on and on and on and on. Guys that played their best football as Jacksonville Jaguars in Liam Cohen's first year on the job. That is not a coincidence. There is something to that, and I think Liam Cohen did a masterful job. The first-round playoff loss aside, I still think he deserves to be Coach of the Year because I don't think there is a guy, Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, whomever, great work was done by a lot of those guys, but Cohen winning 13 games when, mind you, he lost his number 2 overall pick to a non-contact knee injury in practice. 10 days later, they blow a 19-point fourth-quarter lead. They're 5-4. This thing could have collapsed for a first-year coach. Instead, it goes the exact opposite way. They win 8 games in a row and their 5th division title in franchise history.
They never flinched after blowing that big lead. I thought that might have been the story of their season. Is that could break a team, man. Because people were ripping them left and right. Same old Jags. I'm not surprised. And they never flinched.
No.
They never really. So it was a great season for the Jags all across the board. The Buffalo game. My take on the Buffalo game was the Jags didn't play their A game, but they caught Josh Allen on a day, and they didn't rush him as well as they might have. He got the ball out of his hands too, which was a big thing. Part of that's coverage. You know, people say Denver rushed him a lot better than the Jags did. Well, they did. But part of that's because nobody was open, you know, so that thing works together. I think they caught Josh Allen on a day he was spectacular. And I thought he was almost perfect. I thought Josh Allen was about perfect, and it still took a late touchdown for them to beat the Jags.
I think if you play that game 10 times, Buffalo wins 5, Jacksonville wins 5. You just happen to play on a day which was one of Buffalo's 5. Because, look.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're 20 yards away. I mean, if you complete that pass to Jacoby Myers, you're 20 yards away from being able to kick a game-tying field goal to send it to overtime. You know, ifs and buts, and I get all that. So that's why, to me, that game gets played 10 times. I think they split 5-5. I agree. They lost to maybe the best player in football, or at least he played the best on the field that given day. What was unfortunate about it, and I'll be honest, you and I did the reaction show, the Duval recap, right, and then I had to come into the 5th quarter. I was in a fog. You know, I think a lot of the fan base, a lot of us,
we all were.
It ended so abruptly.
I know it. I know.
The pick, when Cole Bishop caught that ball, there's certain moments of sports fans or sports media where you do have that moment of the surrender cobra, or you do have that moment you just sit there. Now, you are broadcasting to thousands and thousands. You didn't have that luxury. I at least had 10 minutes to kind of gather my thoughts. I didn't say a word from the time Cole Bishop caught that ball till I went on with you on the Duval recap, because it took me a while to comprehend that the season was over. It just ended that quick. And that is the one negative about this season, is how quickly it ended. But hopefully for the guys down there at the Miller Electric Center, that will be a motivation cry when they return in April.
And Liam's done a great job of using that motivation. You're exactly right. We'll talk some NFL. What's left of the NFL, the 4 teams still playing, and also the carousel. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Bone-crushing blows to game-winning goals.
Yes!
Feel the energy on 1010XL.
History!
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
Some plumbing companies say they're local, right up until you realize their headquarters are in New York City. At Hall & Sons Plumbing, we're actually from here. Born, raised, and fixing leaks right here in Jacksonville. Hall & Sons Plumbing. Local. Family. Real.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rollie.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
This is Sheridan Tootin, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and Dr. Kevin Murphy put my right shoulder back together a few years ago, and I'm still feeling great. Now I'm using PRP treatment for my knee pain. No matter what you're dealing with, if you're enduring any orthopedic issue, my only recommendation is Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist if you ever have a need.
Leave pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm Holt Harrell. I was talking to someone the other day and they were shocked that some lawyers get more from a case than their own client. After paying bills and costs, if we are supposed to get more than a client, we won't. That's the Harrell and Harrell promise. When we say that we treat our clients like family, we mean it. If you've been in an accident, call us today. 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Tara Middleton with Goodwill Industries of North Florida. Thanks to the players, we're helping people overcome barriers to employment through training and education. It's 49 days until the players.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. Are you frustrated with those trendy pills, drops, and lotions that claim to make your hair thicker and fuller? Are you taking weight loss drugs or medication that's making your hair fall out? Whether you're frustrated with results from treatments that just don't work, or you no longer have the fuller, thicker hair that you once had, there's a better way. Our hair restoration solutions have helped literally over 10,000 men and women restore their hair in as little as 2 office visits.
Ready to grow your hair back and have permanent, natural, and guaranteed results? For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnicht Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We thank our friends from the Nimnicht family dealerships. Nimnicht Chevrolet is on Cassett Avenue at Park. Nimnicht Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. Man, I'm telling you now, you want to buy an automobile, sports utility, truck, new, used, nobody does a better job than my friends at Nimnicht. They treat you right. I've been buying my cars there since 1982. Is that when you were born? When were you born?
83.
Okay, I've been buying my cars at Nimnicht longer than you were alive.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. So
means they're a good company.
They are. They do a great job. They treat you right, too. Head to the Nimnicht family dealerships, and you'll be glad you did. Really trust my friends, and I'm proud to be a spokesman for Nimnicht, and I have been for pretty much my entire career, and I will be as long as they'll have me. So thanks to my friends at the Nimnicht family of dealerships. Talk about bad breaks. Denver has this magical season. Denver has the number 1 seed. Denver is, and by the way, I think the Jags are better than Denver. That can be being a baby or whatever, but
they beat them
and handled them. Not just beat them there and handled them. Okay, and I I've had a pretty good look at that one. Okay, so but nonetheless, Denver had a magical season, and 2 plays before they're about to host the AFC Championship game, they lose their quarterback to the freakest injury ever. Cruel, wasn't it?
Cruel, and Sean Payton, I guess to his credit, I mean, for people that didn't see it, so he comes out and gives the post-game press conference, 15 minutes, Q&A, and he's all fired up. He goes and changes, I guess gets a shower. His PR staff drops that news on him. So they gather the media back up, and he goes back into the press conference room and says, hey, I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to announce this now. Bo Nix is going to need surgery. He's out for the year. I've never seen a coach hold court twice like that and give news like that 15 minutes after his initial press conference. I guess the one thing that I had originally thought of, if you go back to Sean Payton's early days, I believe he was on that Giants staff where Jeff Hostetler led the Giants to the Super Bowl against Buffalo, the Scott Norwood miss. So maybe I'm grasping at straws here.
He's the only other quarterback who he had fewer starts than any quarterback ever in the Super Bowl until now.
Right.
If Stidham gets there.
Yeah, and Stidham hasn't played a game that's counted since November or December of 2023 or 24.
He's got 5 career starts.
5 career starts.
1 and 4.
And I was watching a Denver podcast, and they're like, well, he looked really good in the preseason.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. August football compared to, the AFC Championship game might be a little different. But having said that, I'd be very careful if I'm New England, because everybody's going to pick them to win because of that. That's still a very good Denver defense. If they can find a way to run the ball, which they're going to need to, I wouldn't necessarily count Denver out. But, Frank, I don't know if it matters who wins that game. With the way the Seahawks and the Rams are playing, man, I think the NFC champion is going to be a big favorite in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, it matters because you get to the Super Bowl. But I hear your point. No matter who wins, they're going to be a prohibitive underdog. I'm not convinced yet that Denver's not going to win.
I'm not either.
I'm not. I'm just not. For whatever reason, I haven't yet bought the Patriots. And maybe that's because Drake May's young and they don't have a lot of known weapons. Diggs obviously is a known weapon, but they don't have a lot of known weapons. But maybe that's what it is. But I'm not there yet. They've caught some breaks too. The Chargers were dead. The Chargers had nothing left. It was a dumb decision not to play Justin Herbert at the end of the year. They had nothing for him. And then the Texans are terrible on offense.
Without Nico Collins, and Dalton Schultz got hurt in the first quarter.
And now you get the Broncos without Bo Nix.
Right.
I mean, you talk about catching some breaks now. You had an easy schedule because you were lousy last year, right? You caught the Chargers, who I think were dead. Look, they won a lot of games. So if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm thinking, shut up. We won a bunch of games.
They couldn't block anybody.
Right. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. You're right about – I've thought all year long, and I said this all year long, I'm not just new to the party here, that the Rams and the Seahawks were the 2 best teams in the NFL in either conference. And that certainly is playing out that way.
And we got a good look at them 7 days apart for the Jaguars. The only losing streak the Jaguars had this entire season was the Seattle game and then the Rams game in London. Look, the Rams, there's something to be said about going into 2 people's houses back-to-back weeks, Carolina and Chicago, and finding ways to win late in the fourth quarter or in overtime. And they've done both. They're coming in with an immense amount of confidence, where Seattle had a bye week, and then they destroyed a San Francisco team that the gas pedal was on empty. San Francisco, much like the Chargers, they were done going into Seattle. I favor the Rams in that game. I would actually be surprised if LA does not come out of Seattle with a win.
Yeah, I that'll be interesting to see. Nothing would surprise me in that game, but it's gonna be a heck of a game.
Great game.
So the NFL never disappoints in it, and it won't this time either. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk some college football. We look ahead next year. We're still gonna talk some college basketball on the program as well. Glad you're with us. 1 hour to go. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Jeff Prosser.
Genius IQ, football scholarship.
Dan Hicken.
I'm just a fun, non-threatening clown. That's what I am.
Together they are the Drill.
Well, you're not exactly my first-round draft pick, but I've always been a fan.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Hey friends, Frangie here. A new year is the perfect time to make sure your car is ready for the road ahead. And nothing gives you more confidence than a fresh set of tires from my friends at Big Chief Tire. I've trusted them for years. They take great care of me, and they'll take great care of you. Start 2026 with a smoother, safer ride. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief get you rolling.
Learn everything you need to know about the Jaguars on Duval Rundown. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Join me each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 9:04. You can find Duval Rundown on all the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
Hey, poker players and sports fans. It's cold outside, but the action is hot inside. Turn game day into payday at Aces Sports Bar inside Best Bet St. Augustine. Catch all the playoff football and college basketball on our big screens and play your hand at the tables. Plus, score $100 for touchdowns during selected pro football games and $500 every 30 minutes at the table games. Get all the exciting details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Here's hoping for a raise the roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months, and it takes a price lower than you want. Well, getting top price means aggressive marketing, and Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive the demand to sell your home. And they have this unbelievable promise and guarantee. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. If you need to sell now, Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy are going to aggressively market your home, and they're going to get it. Anthony and Mary in Palm Coast said, we wanted to move back home closer to family. Getting max price was more important than a fast sell, but we had only purchased our home last year, so we didn't have much equity. After just 23 days of aggressive marketing with Chad and Sandy, they sold our house at the price we needed to make the move. Call the Jacksonville experts you can trust, and I recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Peterbilt Chocolatier. As the Gators basketball team has been red hot, Florida center Ruben Shinyulu has been named SEC Player of the Week. The Gators moved up to number 16 in the AP poll this week and are back at home tonight when they take on LSU at 7 p.m., airing on 1010 a.m. and the 1010XL app. It's 56 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We thank our friends from Nimnick. Nimnick Chevrolet is on Cassett. Nimnick Buick GMC is on Phillips Highway since 92. I told you earlier I've been buying my cars there. My friend Bill Nimnick Jr., God rest his soul, showed me how to buy a car by myself. I was a year and a half out of college, and I learned and been doing it ever since. So we sure appreciate my friends from Nimnick. If you want to be treated right, Nimnick and the Nimnick family so involved in so many sports enterprises here in town, and proud to be a spokesman for Nimnick. Frangie and LaSelva with you, Hacker Nation here. By the way, Hayes Carline on his way to Gainesville. He's taking his dad to the Florida LSU hoop game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, look for him tonight because I think he's got tickets like right next to Spurrier and right behind the bench. So let's look for Carline losing his mind tonight.
Will he be the guy who's shirt off and his belly's painted and all that?
We'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Sure.
I don't know that that's the visual I'm looking forward to. Okay, but you never know. So Carline will be there tonight. We talked some pro football. We talked a little bit about last night's college game. All right, let's move forward to next year's college season. Everybody's got their way too early's out. Who you like next year? Who's winning the national title?
Well, I think
right now. I need a title list right now.
I mean, Georgia, Ohio State. Not that I'm going out on very big limbs there.
You can always start there, and you're pretty close, aren't you?
If I had no knowledge on the topic whatsoever, I'll just throw out Kirby Smart and the Dogs.
Yeah.
I think Oregon, because you get Dante Moore back, which is a huge deal for them. But yeah, I mean, I think that the regular suspects. I don't know if I see a team like Indiana coming out of nowhere. I think it's going to be one of the more established programs.
Well, here's what's interesting. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Oregon, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma all return quarterbacks.
Wow.
That's a lot of teams. Usually the Blue Bloods, JJ, don't all return quarterbacks.
I was about to say, that's very rare.
It's
And now it's going to happen more than ever.
Yeah, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Oregon, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And they're all pretty good.
All pretty good quarterbacks. That's 7 teams, all blue bloods of sorts, that all return their quarterbacks. So, which maybe changes the trend a little bit from the go get your quarterback. Now, Texas Tech went and got Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati. He was the hot name. Indiana, I guess they get whoever they want now. They went and got Josh Hoover from TCU. Those were the 2 quarterbacks that everybody wanted. Now, Mensa probably winds up at Miami, and LSU got Sam Leavitt. So Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Oregon, A&M, and Oklahoma, those 7 return their quarterbacks. Tech gets Brendan Sorsby. Indiana gets Josh Hoover. Miami's probably going to get Darian Mensa. LSU got Sam Leavitt. Hard not to start with that 11, right?
Right.
I mean, that's 11 teams that you have to believe are going to be pretty well quarterbacked. That's where I'm going to start my list.
Yeah, look, and LSU did a lot in the transfer portal, and they need to because all the pressure is going to be on Lane Kiffin. He's got to produce, and he's got to produce quick. But yeah, no, I mean, the quarterbacks are what makes the world go round in college football, and I think those 10 or 11 teams are certainly going to be the teams everybody's going to be talking about. And will be interesting to see if there is a team that does come out of nowhere, but I think because so many teams are returning quarterbacks, it's going to be a little bit more difficult next year.
What do you expect for the Gators? What are your 2026 expectations for our Gators?
I mean, I think that, look, I'm not going to say 4-8 again. I'm not going to say 10-2. I'm going to take the easy way out. 8-4, somewhere like that. And by the way, if they're 8-4, that's perfectly acceptable.
It's a huge
for
success.
Me.
Yeah, the season, the schedule on paper is way easier.
Way easier.
It's really weird. I don't know what to expect because it's not like we followed Urban Meyer the whole Utah year before he came to Florida, right? You knew Steve Spurrier the whole time he was at Duke and what he was kind of going to be. I mean, before Dan Mullen got there, I'd watched a lot of those Mississippi State games. I didn't watch a Tulane game.
No.
You know, I mean, at the end when he was getting the job, then you paid it. But by then the players were all gone, right? And well, I guess that's not true. They were in the playoffs, but
they were playing Ole Miss.
That's right.
I mean, what are you going to take from that?
That's right. Good point. So, but I'll tell you this: I think they know what they're doing. I have spent a little time with Dave Caldwell, who I trust. I think he's a sharp guy, and Dave's a friend, so he's enlightens us a little bit. I don't know John Summerall yet. I'll meet him, but I've never met him. But I think they had a pretty good plan. They have 27 new guys. I do think the players they kept are good players. Obviously, the big 5 they wanted to keep: Dallas Wilson, Vernell Brown, Miles Graham, Jaden Baugh, and Jaden Woods. That's the 5 they wanted to keep. I think defensively, and again, I watch every snap of those games now. I think the linebacking core of Graham and Aaron Childs and Jaden Robinson and Jaden Woods, because they're now playing a 3-4, might be about as good as anybody's. Okay. I think their ends with LJ McCray and Cam James, and I think their ends are good. I don't know their tackles as well. And I think the secondary. So I think defensively, if Brad White's as good a coach as people think, might be pretty good. The question you have is Aaron Philo going to be really good? Is he going to win? Is he going to beat out Tramel Jones, which I'm not sure. Whoever wins, are they going to be really good? Are they going to be not very good? Are they going to be in between? We can guess all we want, but that's what's hard to predict about Florida. I'm excited about what I think Aaron Philo is going to be, but the truth is we have no idea how Aaron Philo, and I assume he's going to win the job, how he'll do.
No, there's a lot of hope for him because he's the guy that broke most of Trevor Lawrence's high school passing records in the state of Georgia. He comes with Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech. Look, I have no idea how they're going to do either, but I'll say this about Summerall and what he's done. Clearly, there was a lot of angst, not necessarily towards him, but towards the hire for not, A, getting Lane Kiffin, and B, going back into the group of 5 and getting the coach from Tulane. Having said that, all you can do is react to what Summerall has done his first 7 weeks on the job. And what he's done is, like you said, kept Jaden Ball, Jaden Woods, Miles Graham, Vernell Brown, and Tallis Wilson. Now, people say, well, DJ Lagway left. I think there needed to be a parting of the ways there. I think DJ Lagway needed a change of scenery.
Me too.
I think Florida needed to move on. Well, you say, well, Trey Wilson's gone. I think they upgraded with Eric Singleton. I think Eric Singleton with Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson, if they get a quarterback that can throw the football, which is a big if, they're going to have 3 wide receivers that are as good as any 3 wide receivers as a trio in the Southeastern Conference, if not the country. It is going to come down to the quarterback play, and I'm going to trust the guy that John Summerall's brought in. Buster Faulkner was brought in, and he brought Aaron Philo with him. He's going to call the plays, and I'm going to trust that Aaron Philo will be the guy that Buster Faulkner believes that he is.
I will tell you this. Jeff Dantzler, when the coaching carousel stuff started, told me, I don't know if it was on the air on our reports or off air, this guy Buster Faulkner is a really good coach. Watch, Frank, don't be surprised if he gets one of these jobs. I know you don't know a lot about him, so I know he's a coordinator. He said, don't be surprised if he gets one of these head jobs. So then I looked him up because he had been in Georgia forever now. He's a Georgia guy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Aaron Philo grew up in Athens. You know that?
I did, yeah.
Aaron Philo's an Athens guy. Buster Faulkner was on. In fact, a lot of people believe when Todd Monken left after the 2 titles, rather than bringing drawing a blank, Mike Bobo is the coordinator, they should have given it to Faulkner. Instead, Bobo became the coordinator, and Faulkner left to be the Georgia Tech coordinator. And Georgia people weren't happy to see that. So well before Florida ever hired him, something else I was told too. And I don't know if I told you this or not. Since you were a Brent Key guy, I should have told you this, but I didn't. I'm kind of connected down there, okay? And I asked about Brent Key, in large part because you were all over it. I think I'm being honest. I think you're one of the reasons I asked about it. And I was told that they got off Brent Key, and this is way before Summerall, Faulkner, or anything. They got off Brent Key because after doing research, they thought the secret sauce was the offensive coordinator.
Well, it's funny you say that.
I mean, and I was told that well before anybody. This is when they were still chasing Kiffin.
Right.
I was told that they got off. That I said if they don't get Kiffin, who they're going to get? And Brent Key's one of the names that came up, just like Clark Lee and Summerall and all the rest. And I heard they got off Key because they were told that the real key to their success was Buster Faulkner. And I can tell, again, that was well before the stuff happened.
I had a couple of Georgia Tech guys on my show when all this was happening because I wanted Brent Key. Like you said, I was a Brent Key guy. And they said, well, yeah, I mean, Brent Key's a really good coach, but if he comes to Gainesville, make sure he brings Buster Faulkner with him.
Right.
Because that was the talk in Atlanta among Georgia Tech circles, right, is that a lot of their success was because of Buster Faulkner. I imagine Georgia Tech hates Florida because not only did you take the offensive coordinator that many people think is responsible for their success, Aaron Philo was going to replace Haynes King. I mean, he was going to be the quarterback at Georgia Tech.
That was already done.
So you took him as well. So
do you know who they just got today, by the way? Georgia Tech?
Mendoza's brother, right?
Exactly.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So
I wonder if he's good. I kind of hope he is. because that's a cool story.
Well, I'm rooting for. I mean, his brother's great, so
he's probably a great guy too.
he's got great genetics.
Of course he is. Right.
And he's unbelievably polite.
Yeah.
We know that.
Right.
Did you see Fernando Mendoza went Mr. Tebow a couple of
He
times
did.
last
Did you
night?
see Tebow today?
Yeah.
Tebow went on Twitter and said, "Come on, man.
Mr. Tebow's my dad."
Yeah. So, but I will tell you one story about that. When Tebow said that, first time I met Tim Tebow, I had lunch. He had just committed to Florida. I mean, he just did the commit, and I had lunch with him and his dad at the Chili's in Mandarin. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So and he called me Mr. Frangie the whole time. Okay. So and he was in high school, and it was me, Tim's dad, and Tim, and so we're talking he had done the podium thing like a week earlier, and I'd never met him, and I knew his dad. He said, "Let's come out." So we went and ate lunch. I'll bet I saw Tim Tebow 10 times while he was at Florida, and he called me Mr. Frangie every time. I told him not to. He said, I can't do it. You're Mr. Frangie.
Mama taught me.
Yeah,
my mama said.
So then when he came out and said today, I said, hey, look, you were the same guy. So
how the tables have turned.
That's an aside. So
it's what happens when you get old, man.
Final thought before we break. What is your take on Florida State? I know poor Rick, who knows them better than anybody, is just miserable, and I get it. We've all had our teams go through miserable stretches. They got this junior college standout, this Malachi Marshall. JJ, we talked just a minute about him the other day. Why do I get the hunch he won't be terrible? Does that make sense?
Because of Chambliss, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Probably.
He's changed my outlook
well said.
Quarterbacks completely.
That is a great point. I get this feeling. I'm not saying he's Cam Newton, okay, who came from the junior college.
But you got to be decent if you're the junior college player of the year.
So I get this hunch that he might not be terrible.
And I don't disagree with you, but that kind of leads into what I was going to say. We're talking about Florida State University. And what we're saying is, I get the hunch this guy's not going to be terrible.
Never seen him play.
They need to be in the running for these quarterbacks that we just talked about.
Good call.
Why weren't they in the running for Sam Levitt? Why weren't they in the running for this, that, or the other? They're Florida State.
Well,
they haven't won a road game in 2 years. They've lost 12 out of their last 15 ACC games, and they literally cannot afford to fire their coach. My take on Florida State is I get the sense that it's just a bunch of blah right now, and people are not excited about this upcoming season.
Yeah, and I think what they're probably going to do is they say, hey, listen, if Norvell catches fire for some reason, fine. Otherwise, we'll fire him on October 10th.
Which is weird because if you couldn't pay $55 million,
how do you pay?
So then you're going to pay $47 million next year?
Yeah, but and here's one thing. You saw the story, was it Schleybaugh that came out with, they were in the Kiffin thing.
Yeah.
Which was shocking to all of us.
That they really, and they had the money, which meant they had the 58 and whatever Kiffin was going to command, so they must have it. They somehow, now they may be one of these teams that goes out and gets business money like the Big Ten's doing, because there's certainly been talk about that. But Florida State is because we remember what Florida State was, and it's still, I'm not convinced it can't be again.
I was about to say, I know what it can be.
Yes. So I'm not convinced it won't be. They're not, listen, by the way.
They were 12-0 like 3 years ago.
Correct. They're 3 years away from a 12-0 season, and they're 11 years away from a title. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're 38 years away from a title. They're not Indiana, so it'll be interesting to see. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Some people think he's Italian. Maybe he is.
I take everything.
Fat Tony on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey. Weekdays from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Barry Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ghost. Skeletor World Tour 2026. Ghost. Theatrical. Arena Rock. January 22nd, Five-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Ghost. Don't miss Ghost.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
It may be winter in Northeast Florida, but it's one of the most important times to protect your lawn. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Their winterizer strengthens roots and improves cold tolerance. Pre-emergent treatments stop spring weeds before they ever start. What that means is you set the stage for a thicker, greener lawn when spring arrives. Call today to schedule your winter lawn treatment with Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Hey, folks, it's Frangie. All those festive holiday feasts probably have added a few extra pounds, but here's the thing. You can make this the year you finally lose the weight safely and for good. Now, you know by now my daughter Amber kicked off the journey with Awaken 180 weight loss back in the summer. You ready for this? She's lost 100 pounds in 6 months. Man, is she proud of that. 100 pounds. And she really did it with this really, really good plan. There's no shots, no medications, no supplements, just real food and a proven plan. That's right. With Awaken 180, you can still enjoy your favorite food and drink. No more yo-yo diets or feeling deprived. The structured program empowers you to control your eating without hunger. It really is doable. Don't just resolve to make the change. Make the change. Call Awaken 180 today and take that first small step. Book your consultation now, 1-844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It worked for Amber. It really did. And it can work for you. Awaken 180 weight loss.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We thank our friends from the Nimnik family dealerships. Nimnik Chevrolet. Podcast at Nimnik Buick GMC, located on Phillips Highway. My friends at the Nimnik family of dealerships. Frangie, Ryan Green, you know him as the hacker. JJ LaSelva here. By the way, JJ, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, but the picks.
Oh, it was a big one for us last
night. So,
we got Hayes' ass out of there.
Yeah, Hayes is pretty much he's all but mathematically eliminated. He's down 6 with 3 to play.
So we'd have to pick the same team in all 3 games,
which I can't do because I'm chasing you. Which means he's out. So there he is. So I'm
up 2 with 3 left.
You're up 2 with 3 to play, right? So what we're gonna do is, like I said, you'll pick first, I'll pick second, Hayes will pick third. My picks are easy. Whoever you don't pick, pressure's on you. You know, whoever you pick.
You better pray to God Jared Stidham has himself a ball game.
I had a hunch Jared Stidham was going to be my guy.
Although, like you, I'm not crazy confident that they're going to win that game, the Patriots. I mean, I don't know what the differences between. I'm not a huge Bo Nix guy, so although he looked decent on Sunday, but I don't know how many points difference he is compared to a backup.
The chance they have is they are really good on defense, and if their defense can make it one of those, if they can make it a 16-13 game, if they can turn
short
it in,
field turnovers,
then you're at home, and then the crowd. And I will say this now, I've been to obviously all the venues. I've never been to Lambeau because that was a COVID year, the year we went there, but I've been to all of them. And that Denver crowd now, might be the best in the league.
It sounded really loud on TV.
It might that might be the. I mean, that of all of them, that might be the. It used to be Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Kansas City. They're all great, but that Denver crowd might be the best crowd in the league. I mean, they were really loud when we were up there.
I want to say New England. It's a weird deal. Every game they've lost this year, I believe, has been at home. I think they're undefeated on the road.
Really?
I think they're 8-0 on the road. Yeah. So, and Denver's a tough place to play. Something's got to give because Denver's lost one time since October of 24 at home. That was to Jacksonville. New England, I don't think is lost on the road this year. So it should be a heck of a game.
Yeah. And again, all that plays out better if they all have their players. Bo Nix being out. I said I'm not convinced Denver is going to lose. But if I was betting, I know where I'd go, So obviously you could but you can't bet Denver now. What's the line, by the way, with him out, JJ?
Let me look, but I thought it was like 5.5.
New England 5.5.
Yes.
Yeah. New England a 5.5 point road favorite, I would think, with Bo Nix out.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, without your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, look, the Super Bowl
4.5.
4.5. The Super Bowl is a Super Bowl, right? It's going to sell itself. Having said that, I have some thoughts.
Okay.
All right. Is the NFL going to get a good matchup here? I mean, Seattle and Denver, does that do anything for you?
No.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But for us, we'll be annoyed that
I guess Patriots-Rams is as good as they could do.
I was say Los Angeles and Boston is two pretty good markets.
It is.
And that's two teams with titles. And so if they get that, the last thing they want is Seattle versus Jarrett Stidham. That's the game you don't want. And
Darnold versus Stidham for the Lombardi Trophy.
Right. Now, to JJ's point, it doesn't matter because nobody watches.
Everybody will watch anyway.
Everybody, yeah. So, but yeah, there's less charm to it. No question. You're gonna be locked in. You'll be working tonight. Gator basketball tonight.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'll get to watch the first hour.
Okay.
And then I've seen you enough through the years where you can still do a radio show and keep track of the television.
You can do it. You know, we have a TV.
My new producer Aaron might make a really intelligent 2-minute thought. I'll go. Good points. Back after this.
He is a Rams fan, so maybe if you want to do a short little segment.
Right.
He is a Rams fan. That's right.
Gator basketball team's really good. You follow them closely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I will tell you. And Hayes was right. I didn't like the schedule early. I didn't like Arizona and UConn and Duke and TCU. I didn't think they should. I thought he overscheduled, and they lost all those games. So I thought I was right, but it turned out it made them good for now. Right now, nobody wants to play them now. No, I mean because Vanderbilt's good. Vanderbilt is. I said this after the game. They're like legit good, and. They play. They're a really good team that played really well, and Florida still beat them because Florida played really well. I think the Gators have found something now. I think they're going to win their next 3 games: LSU tonight, Auburn Saturday, South Carolina next week, and all of a sudden you're going to look up They're going to be 16-5, 7-1 in the league, ranked in the top 7 or 8, and look out. I think that's where they're headed.
Yeah, I agree. And look, it was frustrating. I was with you. I mean, a 1-point lose to Cameron Indoor, a 1-point loss to UConn at the Garden. You lose by 6 to Arizona. I mean, it was very, very frustrating. And then you open SEC play with a 2-point loss at Missouri. And I'm at the point now, I think I even tweeted out, I tend to maybe overreact from time to time.
No.
That Florida's just never going to win a 1-possession game.
Now, do you overreact?
I've tried to clean it up a little bit.
I never would have guessed that. Okay, but continue.
Having said that, they may not need to win a 1-possession game. Right. They've destroyed 3 out of their last 4 opponents. Now, they did win a close game against Vanderbilt. Really, it's come down to 2 things. Chinyalu, and you and I were talking about this earlier, I used to think he was kind of like a better version of Donnell Harvey. Tough, physical guy, great rebounder, good defensive player, wouldn't give you very much offensively. All of a sudden, he's turned into Udonis Haslem.
It's a good call.
Where he's a great rebounder, a great defender, and he is giving you scoring. I mean, Chinyalu's game has gotten way better in the last couple of weeks. And then the backcourt. I mean, you always knew Florida had one of, if not the best front courts in America, but Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee, quite frankly, were let's call it what it is. They were awful at the beginning of the year, or very, very bad, whatever verbiage you want to use. Boogie Flan seemed to come out of it a little earlier, about 2 weeks ago. Xavier Lee had his breakout game against Vanderbilt. If Lee and Flan continue to play like that with the front court, how it is, Florida is all of a sudden one of the best teams in America again.
Yeah, I'm still not sure they're a good shooting team. They made that, and I'll stand by this. In today's basketball, you got to make threes to win. You can't say, well, we'll just pound it inside and not shoot threes. Doesn't work. I don't care who you are. Can't win that way. But if you don't have to make 15 of them, but you got to make 7 or 8 threes if you're going to win the national championship. Well, they made 9 against Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm. They shot the ball. Well, I still don't think they're a good shooting team. 2 or 3 things, and we'll watch for it tonight when they play LSU. And of course, you'll hear that on our air as always. Number one, Hack, I think they've got to get good play from their guards in some capacity. The front court's going to be there. Keep an eye on Urban Klavjar because he started to make 3 or 4 a game. When that happened, people couldn't double down on Chinyelu. Don't think for a minute Klavjar making those threes didn't affect Chinyelu because now Chinyelu's man on man. Now, if they start doubling down on him, then Urban gets more open threes. I think that'll matter. The other thing is, boy, did Isaiah Brown play a good game the other day. He's the one thing they don't have, and that's a quick, twitchy, quick leaping slasher on the wing. They don't have that. Houck is a wonderful small forward, but he's not that. He's not quick, slashy, that guy. That college basketball player that we've all seen that's 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", that's lightning quick, that dunk, Casey Prather. They haven't had that guy. The slashing, quick, twitchy guy that can defend the other guy's slashy, quick, twitch guy that can rebound. Zay Brown is that. So if Isaiah Brown continues to play like that, he's their 8th guy, and they needed to find the 8th guy in the rotation. I don't think that's a fluke. He played his best game, obviously, against Vanderbilt. But I expect more. By the way, he made 2 threes in that game.
Right.
But I expect him to be a pretty good player for them.
Great athlete. Had a couple insane dunks this year, including the one against Vanderbilt. And we'll give Todd Golden credit. Not that we didn't know he wasn't already a great coach from leading them to the national title last year. But at 5-4, and even after the Missouri game, 9-5, it would have been very easy for this team to say, woe is me. We won the title last year. Things aren't going our way this year. We're going to, disband a little bit or whatever you want to call it. No, they stayed together. They've looked great in their last 4 games. Like you said, they're all of a sudden 13-5, 4-1 in the conference. And here's the thing for Gator fans. You don't need to finish number 1 in America. You need to be a top 4 seed. Because if you're a top 4 seed, you're going to go to Tampa.
Correct.
And in Tampa, with rounds of 64 and round of 32 games, odds are you're going to be big favorites in Tampa with a Gator crowd. And if you get out of Tampa, that means you're going to the Sweet 16. And at that point, anything could happen. You just need to be one of the best 16 teams in the country heading into March Madness to make sure you get that spot in Tampa.
Yeah, and my guess is now they're going to get that. Look, they're not. They're probably the best team in the SEC. The SEC's good. It's not what it was last year.
No.
So they're probably the best team in the SEC. I'll say this and they'll lose to LSU tonight, but I'm very confident they're going to get to 7-1 in the league, which means I don't think they're going 17-1 in the league. You play 18 games, but they could go 15-3. They could go 14-4, and that gets them to Tampa. I can tell you, 14 league wins in the regular year gets you to Tampa. They're going to be 7-1. Okay. 14 gets you to Tampa. I think that's the number. No matter what you do in the SEC tournament, I think 14 gets you to. Don't you feel that way?
I do, and it would be a far cry. And again, last year's team was certainly better, at least at this point in the year. But you think about all the travel that last year's team had to do to get to where they ultimately got to. It would be so nice to start in Tampa in the first 2 rounds of the tournament.
Yeah, so I think I can. What year was it? What year was it that I went with them to most of the championship, but I dispatched a young broadcaster to New Orleans? Was it New Orleans?
It was New Orleans.
I dispatched a young JJ, I wanted to cover the Gators, and I'd been covering the Gators and all their runs to the Final Four, but I didn't want to go to the first round. But you got to be credentialed for all the rounds to go. So I sent this young broadcaster to New Orleans. Did he drive?
You sent me and Godby and Godby's Ford Mustang down I-10.
Yeah, that's what it was. You and Godby. That's right.
Oh man,
we put
2011.
Yeah. Okay. That's
yeah. That was the Jackson State or Sam Houston State. I know they played Purdue in the second round.
All right.
Because I'm sitting behind Matt Prather. Was it Matt Painter? Matt Painter's wife.
Okay.
And she's screaming in my ear, "Go Boilers!" the entire game. And I was like, "Look,
go
Boilers!" And it was the coach's wife. The Purdue people were telling me.
Oh.
So I've never forgotten that. But yeah, it was great. And believe it or not, I think they were actually losing to Purdue at halftime in the round of 32. Ultimately came back to win, and the rest is history.
2007. Sorry.
Yeah, it was the year they won.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the year
it was the second of it was the back-to-back team.
Yeah, it was the year they won.
67-74. That was a close one.
Yeah, go Boilers, man. That's all she kept saying the entire game.
Al Horford led the team with 17 points that day.
I don't know why that reminds me, but I can tell you have I ever told you I got great stories about my wife when we travel these games. Did I ever tell you my wife's Andy Green story?
I don't think so.
Did JJ? Have I told the Andy Green story?
I've never heard it.
The Andy Green? Okay. So Andy Green is the manager of the Padres whenever. Okay. 15, 16, 7, somewhere in there. Okay. He's the manager of the Padres. I don't know if do you remember Andy Green managing the Padres?
He's a distant relative.
Okay. So Andy Green's the manager of the Padres. Whatever year Andy Green's the manager of the Padres. And the Pirates are playing the Padres. Okay. And we're staying at, I forget the name of it. We're staying at this hotel downtown where the Jags stay, because it's where all the visiting teams stay. The NFL puts you. It's a beautiful hotel. Well, the Padres were staying there, obviously. So we stay there and we walk to the game. Okay. And Suzanne was excited. She's a Pirates fan. She's got all her gear on. Well, swept the Padres. Well, this is the Saturday game. Okay. Beat them 11-3, something like that. Okay?
Nice.
We're excited. I'm drinking Iron City Lights. We're coming back.
I have heard this.
We're walking across the bridge, and we're all excited. And we get back to the hotel, the Fairmont. We're at the Fairmont, and we get in the hotel, and we got all our Pirates gear on. Suzanne's drinking. I'm drinking, and so this is probably one of those 4 o'clock Saturday games. So this is by now it's 9:30 or 10. It's hot, middle of the summer. So we get in the elevator, and this nice man,
Yeah.
in a pair of shorts and tennis shoes and his golf shirt. We get in there, and he looks up and smiles and goes, "You guys have a good time?" And Suzanne goes, "Yep, we beat their ass."
They suck.
He said, "No," she said, "We beat their ass." We get to the room. I'll get out. She goes, "Is it okay that I said that?" I said, "Yeah, that was the Padres manager." And he agreed. 100% true story. And he just smiled. He smiled. He goes, "Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did."
So he didn't have any team stuff on.
Nothing. Now, he had a golf shirt
Love
on.
that.
He had a golf shirt, a pair of shorts. He's probably going to get something to eat. It was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
He was asking for it.
He walked in. He goes, "You guys," could not have been nicer. He goes, "You guys have a good time in the game?" And Suzanne goes, "We beat their ass." 100% true story. God bless my beautiful wife. We'll take a break. I'm back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Folks, this month marks a big milestone for Nimnick. 85 years of serving Jacksonville. Since 1941, Nimnick has been more than a dealership. It's been part of this community. 4 generations of families, thousands of vehicles sold, and a reputation built on doing things the right way. So when you hear nobody but Nimnick, that's 85 years of trust behind it. If you bought a car from Nimnick, serviced one, or participated in one of the causes, you are part of that legacy. So stop by and celebrate 85 years with the Nimnick family, because this milestone belongs to Jacksonville too. There's 2 great locations. There's Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett and Park, and there's Nimnick Buick GMC located on Phillips Highway. They're proud of 85 years, and they should be. Nobody does it better than Nimnick. So head to Nimnick today, and if you want a great deal, the best deal, who gives it to you? Nobody but Nimnick.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit hollispools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harrell & Harrell. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
Renewal by Andersen is ringing in the new year with a happy renewal year sale. Buy one, get one 40% off all replacement windows and doors. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 1 year. Renewal by Andersen's Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable year-round. Sale ends January 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Andersen, where comfort meets savings.
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment today was my man Hacker stopping by, covering all of it. We had a bunch of moments today, me and Hack. Don't get to work together all that often anymore, so really appreciate Hack coming by. Hope Hayes has a great time with his dad at the Florida LSU game. Mostly we talked about last night's game. What a fantastic game, one of the best championship games we've seen in a long, long time. Credit to and congratulations to Indiana and, of course, to Miami on a very good season as well. And that's been the golden moment of the show today. How the Magic doing? We still follow the Magic?
Oh, yeah,
Are you still like a diehard, like, rank them for me again? I always ask you to rank them. Give me a rank them.
Florida used to be at the top of my list probably 10 years ago.
Gator football was first.
I've become
Jaguar
more NFL guy.
Yeah, Jaguar
than college guy.
Okay, being around you, I believe that.
Yeah, and I don't really know why that's happened, to be honest. It's not because Florida's fallen off, because I still love Gator football.
Jaguars won.
Yeah, Jaguars are 1. Gators are 2. Magic are 3, and then probably Gator basketball's 4.
Yeah, I will tell you, I've told people this.
And, of course, you're a massive Rays fan.
Big Rays fan. And big Lightning fan, particularly when it comes to the months of May, June, and July.
I've told people this. When I was a Steelers fan, before I'm calling the games, it was Pirates, Gators, Steelers, Jags. Okay? So Jags were 4th. You know, and they're behind the Steelers, which is why a lot of Jaguar fans got mad at me, and I don't blame them. Now I don't follow the Steelers at all, so they're not even on the list. But it was still Gators, Pirates, Jags, even while I was calling the games, just being honest. It was Gators, Pirates, Jags. I mean, I'm not going to lie about it. That was my order. I'm like you now. I think the Jags have kind of trumped all of them. And I'm not just I'm the play-by-play guy. I think now if I could have a Super Bowl championship, a World Series championship, or a national championship, I would take the Super Bowl championship with the Jags. That has happened over the last 7-8 years for me.
You obviously have a longer perspective of this, but since I'll take my intern years out of it. Since I actually started doing daily radio back in 2012, I've just noticed, not only on my show, but on a lot of shows here, we used to be, whether it's Florida State college ball, et cetera, probably at least a 50-50 split, if not 60-40 college. That's completely different now. When the Jaguars are good, and heck, even when they're not good, for my show personally, I'm probably 80-20 Jaguars.
Well, think about this. Nobody's taught more Gator football than I have.
Right.
I mean, and Dan and Jeff talk a lot too, but I've taught more Gator football probably over the years than anybody. And it's definitely more Jaguars now. And that's I love the Gators. That's no knock on my Gators. And I get excited about my Gators. It's like, I do. But yeah, I think this city is as Jaguar-centric in every way more than it's ever been. Not just this year, to your point, in recent years. But I think the Jaguars are, again, I love the Pittsburgh Pirates, man. I'll go to spring training. I'll go to Pittsburgh, watch a game. I read every blog so I can know, are they going to offer $60 or whoever to whatever free agents out there, right? I follow it, love it. I love Gator football. I love talking Gator basketball. But none of it, to your point, none of it ranks with the Jags to me. And I wasn't sure that would happen. So I agree with you. I think that's
I saw a chart the other day that this season in TV ratings that Jacksonville was number 10 in college football just in general.
Yeah.
So they just love football.
Yeah. And Jacksonville's a huge
community loves football.
Jacksonville's a huge college football city.
Yeah, no, the college football following here is tremendous.
Yeah, and
I was shocked that it was 10th in the whole nation.
Wow, I wouldn't have known that. That shocks me too. But
what's like Birmingham was probably up
they
there.
were up there.
Yeah. And but I will tell you, the love affair between the Jags and this city and all of us among them that's a great point. It's freaking fantastic.
Yeah, it's gotten just bigger and bigger and bigger as the years have gone by. Quickly back to the Magic, though, and we air a lot of Magic games here on 1010XL, and we're happy to do so. They get hurt every year. Jalen Suggs, it's a requirement. He misses 25 games. Franz Wagner's missed a month. Banchero missed 15 games earlier in the year. I would just love to see what they would look like if they were actually healthy for a couple of weeks at a time. They're 23-19 right now. They're 6th in the Eastern Conference. They'll make the playoffs, and hopefully by that point they will be healthy. But it's just very, very bothersome that every year they are one of the most injured teams in all of the NBA.
Yeah, and I've heard you. I've seen you tweet about it. I've heard you talk about it. They're pretty good this year. I will tell you this: more than the other sports, the NBA for me, and I don't watch it much until even I got to get into the playoffs for a while. But there was a flipping of players. I now don't know any players. I mean, I don't follow it all, but I used to know half the league, 3/4 of the league. Then it was a third of the league. Now, the ones everybody knows,
right?
But I mean, other than the obvious guys,
Steph and Bron,
and everybody knows them. But I found myself knowing fewer star players in the league. We all know Giannis. We all know Jokic. We know, but I don't mean the Luka. I don't mean the 10 we all know. After the 10. 12, whatever.
The second guy on each team.
Yeah. Don't know any of them.
No, it's a fair point. I think a lot of that has to do with the European influence. There's a lot of folks that have come in. Like Brooklyn, the Magic are playing Brooklyn a couple weeks ago. Banchero hit a 3 at the buzzer to win. It was a great ending. But Brooklyn's bringing in, they're 5 guys, and not one of them was, non-European. And nothing against that. I just don't know who any of these guys are.
Okay.
And I'll say the same thing about college basketball in the SEC. And it's really like this all over the place. I remember I could sit down and watch Super Tuesday on ESPN and watch SEC teams, 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I would have some idea as to who those players were on Kentucky or Georgia or whomever. I'm at the point where I don't know who any of those guys are.
They would have been there for 3 years.
That's the thing.
The portal has changed that. Yes.
But so the Detroit Pistons are the best team in the East.
Yes.
Okay, they're the best team.
Cade Cunningham is a stud.
And Cade Cunningham, I remember him from Oklahoma State. So so I know him. Okay, and I certainly remember him from Oklahoma State. But I've pulled up their roster. Okay, Duncan Robinson, I remember him because of the Heat.
Yep.
Okay, so I remember him, he was on the Heat.
He's not an important player on that team.
Yeah, Tobias Harris because he's been around. But I couldn't tell you I mean, honest to God, I couldn't tell you. I'm reading the names.
Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
He's good.
But I wouldn't know that, though.
Right, great player.
I mean, I don't know. To me, I don't know any of them, and they're the best team in the East.
Right.
Okay. Now I could tell you, I could give you every player on the Mahorn Lane Beer roster.
Yeah.
I could give you the whole roster. I could probably give you not just Chuck Daly. I probably could give you the assistant coaches. You know, I mean, isn't it funny though how different that is?
It has. No, I completely agree. And look, it's like that for me for a lot of sports. Like you're a diehard baseball guy. I used to be a big baseball fan. I tell you all the time. I'll recite the lineup of the '91 Braves.
Yep.
And I'm just kind of I don't know half the guys anymore. These guys getting big money in free agency. I don't know who half of these guys are.
Yeah. So for you, it's baseball.
It's basically
for me.
football.
The NBA has killed the regular season.
Yeah.
By the guys sitting out. I mean, honestly, I have the NBA League Pass. I'm watching almost every night, but you put on a random game, there's a 50-50 chance that the best player on one of these teams is not playing.
Yeah.
It just, that is what it is.
And the other thing,
sucks.
And you made a point a minute ago that we don't know the players because they're not in college very long. Well, I can tell you,
or they switch schools too.
That too. But I can tell you, I remember when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander committed to the Gators.
Right.
I can remember when the Gators were going to get him, and then he flipped to Kentucky. And I remember thinking, well, that's a shame. He's a pretty good player. I had no idea he was freaking.
Well, neither did anybody in the NBA for the first few years.
I mean,
the Clippers actually
gave him
traded
away for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to go.
He
be
was
the
part
best.
of the Kawhi deal, I think.
Okay, but he was on his way to being the best player in the league.
Yeah,
it did. I wouldn't have known that in a million years.
When Kawhi was it Kawhi or was it Paul George?
Paul George.
It was Paul George.
Yeah.
When Paul George got sent to L.A., L.A. threw in this kid, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
yeah.
and that's what he was. He was a throw-in to the deal.
Best player in the league.
Nobody thought anything of it, and you're right. He's turned into the best player in the league.
Okay, let's take a break. Let's wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Seahawks running back Zach Charbonnet out for the remainder of the playoffs with a knee injury that he suffered in the divisional round victory over the San Francisco 49ers. He had a career-high 12 touchdowns this season. Seattle 2.5-point favorites against the Rams on Sunday at Lumen Field in the NFC Championship game. Patriots laying 5.5 for the Broncos for the AFC crown. Indiana wins the national championship, beating Miami 27-21. Hoosiers and the Ohio State Buckeyes are 7-1 to win the 2026-27 crown. Notre Dame and Texas plus 750. College basketball today, Purdue a 5.5-point road favorite at UCLA, 147.5 the total at Pauley Pavilion. Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keystoprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass. They say you're going to see a big difference, but what does that really mean? It means a live local person on the phone, a smooth, easy process, skilled craftsmen, and excellent customer service all around, with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Cancer Center with on-site imaging, including whole body MRI, PET and CT scans, and mammography. Early detection is key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval, and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great, great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
Get your tickets for the Tom Coughlin J Fund Wine Tasting Gala. Join Super Bowl winning coach Tom Coughlin at VyStar Ballpark Thursday, March 5th and raise a glass to help local families tackling childhood cancer. Enjoy hundreds of wines from around the world and food from top local restaurants. Buy tickets and learn more at tcjfund.org/wine. tcjfund.org/wine.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We sure thank our friends from the Nimnick family of dealerships, my car sponsor forever. And I sure do appreciate them. And I love driving their automobiles, and I trust them, I can tell you that. Frangie and Hacker and JJ LaSelva with you. Hayes Carline will be back in the fold tomorrow with us. Tonight, by the way. What do you get, an hour off, then go back to work?
Yeah, pretty
2
much.
hours.
Got a halftime break, 2 hours.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Go refuel.
What's coming up tonight?
D-Rock, Mike DeRocco, ESPN.com. Looking
D-Rock.
forward to him joining the program tonight and kind of put a bow on the Jaguars season, get his thoughts on the offseason to come. And then obviously we'll be recapping Miami, Indiana, and keeping you updated on Florida basketball.
Yeah. So it'll be you'll do a great job as you always do, and D-Rock will be terrific as he comes on with you. I'll say this. One more thought about the Jags, and then we'll as we move, we'll say hello to Rick. I do sense, back to your point a minute ago, of how Jaguar-centric we've all become, not that we weren't always. I will say a big part of that is where they're headed.
Agreed.
Where they're headed and the belief in how they got there. I think that's a very, very big part of that.
It's going to be an interesting offseason with Devin Lloyd, ETN, and the two corners, Brown and Newsome, not to mention the other role players that are free agents. They got to make some tough decisions here in the next couple of weeks.
I'd be surprised if Monteric Brown's not on the team. The others, I don't know.
Well,
that would surprise me.
I had the founder of Spot Track, Mike Giannetti, on. He said Devin Lloyd's going to be upwards of 19 to 20 mil per season.
Well, he had the numbers.
And if that's the case, that's probably out of the Jags price range.
Let's say a little Rick below.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnick. Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick, what a game last night, bro.
Unbelievable.
What a game.
Yeah, and you talk about Devin Lloyd and Buster Brown.
We got to get Hacker signed.
Well,
he's in here right now.
Is he a
He's
free
coming
agent?
back tonight.
Is he a free agent?
He's going to find a way to get some food in.
Yeah, but I think we've got the option.
I think
the boss man put a franchise tag on it.
I think we got.
I think country stations, hip hop stations,
no question, yeah,
news talk, everything. They're all over Hacker
Well,
Nation.
the hip hop stations are. Okay,
there is no doubt about that.
I can tell you that. I mean, we all know that. And look, we'll fight them off.
Yeah.
Okay? Look, we'll go as high as we got to go. Rick, we'll just keep going.
Great game last night. I mean, Miami played hard, man. I love watching that defense. And, I was a little bit surprised today by the Heisman odds that came out. They had Malachi Toney that low, 25-1. I know it's tough for receivers to win it. And obviously, Hunter did going both ways, and Devontae Smith.
Who was first?
Arch.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
What
It's
shot.
Arch once again. But Jeremiah Smith was pretty high. He was fourth.
Okay.
It is hard for wide receivers. But, boy, I just thought that, Miami really took Indiana out of their element last night. Indiana was still good enough to win it. But, and they were almost desperate there at the end. You got a Heisman Trophy winner and the number one pick in the draft. Why they kept running the ball was a real surprise to me very late in that game.
Yeah, I'll say this to your point about Miami. This is, and JJ obviously a big Miami fan. We've been talking about it all day, but Miami, for a team that in the record books doesn't have a national title, an ACC title, any hardware to show for it, boy, it was a great year for Miami.
Oh, it was awesome.
I mean the way they ran through the playoffs.
Wow.
Underdog beat their ass. Underdog beat their ass. Underdog beat. I mean, it was a
likable team,
and
too.
it was a fun team to follow.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Unfortunately, the story in America is Indiana and never won one before and all this. But Miami, I'll tell you this. I told JJ and Hack this. I thought they were going to win at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to make one more play.
Yeah.
Did you think that, or did you?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out exactly. Did he underthrow it?
I think he just underthrew it.
Was it a great play by the defensive back? And
I think he underthrew it. I just think it was just a bad throw.
Yeah. There were two guys there, and the safety cheated, but it was the corner who was behind.
Yeah.
He was a step behind him.
He was underthrown. I just think
whether he was baiting him or not, I don't know.
I just think Carson would tell you he had a step. Maybe the safety comes over, maybe he doesn't. I just underthrew the ball. So
so we're going to relive that tonight. Ryan O'Halloran coming up in about 30 minutes. So we'll spend a little bit of time as well with Ryan on some of the recent situations that involve the Jaguars as far as coaches and an opinion or two on what he thinks is part of the immediate plan, maybe some roster reconstruction. So all that's coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Rick Beluga's into the night. That comes up right now. Had great work as always. We appreciate that. Enjoy your 2 hours off.
Frank, I enjoyed it, pal.
And we'll be listening after that. My buddy Hacker, Ryan Green, does a fantastic job here on 1010 XL 92.5 FM. Hayes Carline's back tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. So long.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show.